They'll be calling you a radical. I'm going to talk a lot about post-ignorance, about my trip to New York, about my activism for the Million Mass March. I'm going to really dive into the inception, the organic social problems that we have, as how this has gone. First off, you know, when I got leukemia, boom, just like that, got hit by a truck, it changed everything. So my life pre-October 2011, doesn't really matter. I guess my path leads up, but it changed everything. My whole life was shattered. I got a stomachache one day, had AML de novo leukemia, given 2 months to live. So I was sent home with hospice. I mean, given no chance. Nobody survives this type of disease at my age. As radical it was. I mean, it changed everything, not to mention the $1.8 million bill. So the things that I did before, whatever, look, this is all about this. It's all about this. I've been at this activism a long time. My very first memories that I can ever remember as a little boy are at rallies and events with my dad. Anti-nuclear events. You know, he knew that Semper Fi Marine. You know, and somebody said something about me being patriot. What the fuck? I'm surely not patriotic. Fuck, I never let my... Fuck, the natives raised me. These natives, the Utes, the Navajos raised me. My mom was a teacher there. They raised me. I don't believe in nation building. I don't believe in lines. I don't believe in borders. Patriot? I'm the fucking last to think that that's what I am. I'm a big believer in Hamilton because about society and fairness and justice, and that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. I'm going to talk about, that's what it's all about right there. That's what he was about. That's what a lot of people have been about. It has nothing to do with flag waving, wrapping yourself up. I don't believe in borders. So as this goes forward, cancer took the field. Look, I was at NYU all winter 2010. Stand there at Washington Square, because look, I'm educated enough. My path, look, I was a professor at the #1 MBA program in the United States. I have the first MBA from the #1 MBA program in the United States. I was on Wall Street for years, I was a derivative arbitrage specialist. It's a plaster with my hawk and trowel in my hand for decades. I never gave up that love. Holy Moses. The artist, post-ignorance. That's what post-ignorance is. It throws a tent over all these socioeconomic, social, it throws a tent over it all. Thomas Ackerman used to say it all everything. He says, just the word, it has no isms, it's everything. So, I stand there in the winter of 2010. You can't make it up. In a caught in a snowstorm looking for Jackson Pollock's first studio, not the one everybody thinks, the other one, because I read lots of PhDs, by the way. And, you know, I'll go to Aaron Swartz building because he hacked into MIT's PhD. And I've never claimed to be anonymous, ever. Do I love anonymous? Absolutely, I love anonymous. People says, oh, well, you'd never know who anonymous is. Well, I knew Aaron Swartz, who he was. And I'll be over there, and I know what happened to Aaron Swartz. You know, and I know what happened to a lot of these people. You know, my past long and deep. I've been involved. I could spot AstroTurf from 10 million miles away. I knew the teabaggers were AstroTurf right off the get. And people says, oh, Occupy didn't accomplish anything. Bullshit. I used to say in those early days, I'd stand right this square inch, you know, and give my list of wants. Occupy was the sex. Occupy did so much. You know, that's right when I was due to speak at Zuccotti the day I got sick. I was on my way, standing on a picnic table with a megahorn in my freaking mouth the day I got sick. The stomachache attacked me like a wolf. You know, I was leading up for my place and time, standing there the winter 22 poster. A bunch of kids from, not kids, people from NYU, different people, we were gathering there. We were gathering every day. We were talking leading up, my YouTube site, everybody was watching as far as the activist goes. I was like, you know, I have answers. We need a group. It exploded. Well, I wanted to lead it up to the 100th anniversary of the Shirtwaist Fire, which is the chemical building in NYU. If you don't know about the Shirtwaist Fire, you need to learn. It changed the world. It changed the world. So that was coming up March 25th, 2011. 2 weeks happened on the way to that place. They threw an American nuclearism flag in my face. Fukushima happened. I know I've been an anti-nuclear activist from the time my very first thoughts, my first memories. You know, I was mentored by the very best. I was raised by the very best. Semper Fi, oh yeah, and that word's not American Marine Corps, but it is. Hamilton used that word all the time. So did Michelangelo. It's the old Latin word for always faithful. Just like MC squared, what's the C? You know, Latin. I can speak a little bit of Latin. I got a good education when I was young. Very good education, but out in the street, I'm not a YouTube vlogger. I'm surely not a reporter. I'm an activist. I'm an artist activist. So as it went forward, I went all Fukushima crazy. You know, which I should have screamed, yell, rant, because in every word that I've said, hypothesis is so fucking true to it. And I know you're going to get the weak hands and the fucking weaklings and the know-nothings and the fucking ignorant knee-jerk, and they'll attack you. But they're pussies anyway. They're fucking punks. They get the fuck beat out of them so fast, fuck wouldn't know what fucking hit them. They ain't about to fucking confront anybody, talk to anybody, because they got nada. I know that, fuck. For I have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Oh boy, do I fear no evil. Never have, never will. I sure don't fear fucking cowards and weaklings. And I'm not a YouTube vlogger, yet I use this platform. By the way, so as we're going along, the 50th anniversary of the Million Man March, Martin Luther King. I'm a giant fan of Martin Luther King's. Gigantic fan. By the way, did Martin Luther King start that movement? No. He was asked to do what he did. How long must we sing this song? I mean, Bloody Sundays on Balco. He knew they were going to kill him. He did it anyway. It's about this. They all got this. Hamilton all got this. That's all it is. That's all it is. But Occupy, people, Matt and I, we have answers. As I led, so we're leading up. There's a lot of talk around some YouTube vloggers and some activists. Activists that haven't even met are talking back and forth online. The power of this genre. You know, I'm talking a lot about that. I'm post-ignorance till I'm blue in the face. My social movement. Wore my shirt. Remember my original shirt that I wore? It says post-ignorance, your logo here. You know, your logo here. Because it had to be organic. A lot of talk coming around back and forth. And so, John Anthony Fairhurst came to me. I didn't know him from Adam. Says, hey, what about the Million Mask Man March? And I'm like, you know, the mask, you know. I'm like, well, I don't know. And there was a lot of talk, you know, different people we were talking. I thought about it, and I says, well, I like it, but my gig's post-ignorance, you know, that's what I am. You know, and I have answers for every bit of it. You know, you've heard it tell you're blue in the face. Put tariffs back at the port. Hamilton, I'll be at Hamilton's grave doing my protest, leave him on the $10 bill, leave Margaret Thatcher in her grave in England and throw the royals back out, which I'm going to do that November 2nd. So, that's what this is all about. Usury laws. We want usury laws 6% above prime. Prime 0, the maximum interest rate you can charge. We don't want tax-free status for cheaters. The NFL does not deserve to have nonprofit. Mega church leaders can't preach war from the pulpit and get tax-free status. We want enforcement of the laws that exist. We want the enforcement of antitrust laws. We want the real criminals in jail. We want the patriots set free. The real patriots. I'm not a patriot. But, you know, Mega Rice got set free. You know, we want justice, that's all. This has nothing to do with patriotism. I don't bow to any flag, never have. Never fucking will. You know, I remember the Girl Scouts, and I'm friends with the Girl Scouts, and I donate money to lots of these causes when I have it. When I did, you know, I made a lot of money in my life, but that was then. This is now. You know, my cancer bill was 1.8 million. Changed everything. The less I have, the more I gain. So, I'm like, okay, let's do it. So, you know, I didn't know how it would grow. I had no idea how it would grow. I never even had met any of these people. Not one single one. Flew on a whim. All by myself. Had the Ralph Nader's people come to me and says, hey, you can stay at our house, which ended up being a shakedown. Ended up all night, the night before the originate. John Anthony and his cousins, they're some big dudes, by the way. Ooh, wow. He picked me up at the Baltimore airport. Never met him in my life. I had an address in my hand. I says, here's the address, you know, and he just drove me over there. His cousin had a GPS. Dropped me off, People at the door didn't even know me. At the Nader house, the guy that invited me ended up being some tweaker out freak who, like, you know, I was very sick. I was in very critical condition. I ended up all night. I slept on the park bench at Washington Memorial that morning. So Wiki Poets, who I've never met her still. And, you know, she had her van going around D.C. yelling, screaming, and, you know, where it come from, I'm like, whatever. So the fighting was going at the thing, and I just said, fuck you. My people had came from the post-ignorance, you know, Angie was there, a lot of our group was there, not a wolf, you know, thank God he shot the footage, because I didn't even bring my camera, because I thought we had it handled. You know, but isn't that the beauty of this? Isn't that how perfect it is? It's like a little child. Occupied with sex. I'm telling you, it was the sex. And it wasn't sex in an angry crack house. It was love. And that baby was born. Well, that baby's 5 years old now. You know, that baby's born, it's Fukushima, and it's learning to walk, and it's learning to grow, and it's, let that child grow. To all of you out there, let that baby grow. Let that baby grow. Don't groom him, don't posture him, don't discipline him, let him be. Let this thing grow. Organic. This is the most organic thing I've ever been involved with in my life. When I was in Europe, I'm so happy for everybody that paid for my way, helped me to get over there. It was so exciting. Everybody, you know, a lot of people over there came to me, where you at? You know, and first thing, talking nuclear cancer. Second, what about the Million Mass March? You know, it got changed from Million Man Mass to Million Mass March, rightfully so. So I just said, the day before, you know, there was interviews going with RT, whatnot, but the day before I had a long talk. Security was all over me. White House security come up to me, you know, in plain clothes. Hey, Kevin, you know. The head of Capitol Security come up to me. Hey, Kevin, you know, like, you know, they're all talking to me, and you know me. You know what I talk about, Fukushima. Like a broken fucking record, literally. Cancer, because that's all that really matters. That's the top of this. We're this. We are literally this. I'm not anonymous, but I sure love Anonymous. I sure support their work, what they've done. You know, I support a lot of people, anybody who's this. So, I like, fuck you guys. You can fucking fight all you want. Fuck you. I'm going. Fuck you. I'm not here. Because we had a stage set up at Lafayette Park. We had a permit. We had no permit to be in the street. We had a permit for the park. And so, I just said, fuck you. I'm going. I just started walking. It was even a few minutes before we were even scheduled to walk. There was a lot of people there. A lot of fucking people. And fuck you. Stay here and argue, whatever. I'm going. I'm going to the fucking White House. And I just started walking, and a cop squealed up. I'm the very first guy right in front. And he says, Kevin, yells out the window, can you hold him back for 5 minutes? Why the fuck should I? I can't hold this mob back. We're going to give you a police escort. I'm like, really? Oh, bullshit. And he says, no. Hold him back. We're going to police escort you. We believe in you. I mean, that's where the cops, a lot of the police. We have police after duty get off that come walk with us. Last year, the second year. You know, we're not anti-police. We're this. That's all. That's all. Good cop, bad cop. Good person, bad person. We're activists in the street. We're so organic, it's unbelievable. I'm so excited about it, I can't tell you. So, here we go. Led that march, go down there, and then the fighting's going. I just jumped up on the stage, grabbed the fucking microphone, and fucking started, get over here, blah, 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 and that, boom. Handed the microphone to Steve Grant, he got the crowd fired up, whatever, and then I gave my fucking speech. It was born. So fucking organic, and I'm here to tell you, everybody that's involved in it worldwide, we're not about violence, but we're radical. We're intense. We've had it with this fucking, the greatest social inequality in fucking world history. This globalism bullshit where it's all funneled up. I mean, Putin's fucking worth $60 billion, living in his fucking house he patterned at Versailles. You know, these fucking, the NFL, running down the fuck field, the hair extensions from executed Chinese bird. Come on, wake up, fuckers. Just fucking slave, blood-made fucking goods all over you. I mean, come on. Come on. Let's get fucking real. This, and I've been involved with these people now. I've got to know all of them. This is real. Let this baby grow. You know, I got the anarchist wiki poets group. You know, they're fucking radical as fuck. We got our group, you know. My group's, look, we want all of you. We love all of you. We want your voice to be heard. We don't want your voice. We want you to exercise your First Amendment. We want you to scream and yell. I got this new megahorn I'm going to bring this year, and I'm going to do some fucking stuff with it. I've been practicing. Made in the USA. I'm very, very, it's going to be over 700 cities. Many, many millions. Many millions. This is the biggest movement in the world right now. It's very exciting. You don't have to wear a mask. We don't care if you got a mask or not a mask. Anonymous, we love Anonymous, but this is very much different than that. This group has answers. You know, my gig, post-ignorance, I want tariffs back at the port like Hamilton. You know, I don't want to wear Chinese slave-made goods. I don't want to participate in this. I want usury laws back. I want the enforcement of antitrust law that exists. I want people that are freaking hairsprayed exploiting freaking brown people from the South, exploiting, taking advantage of their plight. These people that are exploiting the name of Christianity to go to jail. You know, because that's against the law. You know, they break laws, those kind of laws, you know, that's just the way that's all about. It's just about justice. And we have answers. We're this. We're the new Lovelers. This is organic as it gets, and I tell you, I've never been so excited. So, Halloween, 10 a.m., I'll be at the Natural History Museum, if I've named it the new one, the Unhasser, and I'm just doing a little piece of art with my camera. Just a piece of art there. And we'll go to the MoMA and do a protest like I've done many times over there, just real briefly, have fun. Then, you know, of course, to Hamilton's grave on the 2nd for, you know, it's so important that I do that. I've been at Hamilton's grave, been hanging out there for so many fucking years. You know, I'm one of the guys responsible for getting the thing restored at the Trinity Church on the 2nd. I'll post everything. You know, I'm going to go over there in Swartz Building, pay our respects and our dues to that beautiful young man. It's an amazing young man. You know, Michael Hastings, I think about him every day. You know, I am Pat fucking Tillman. That breaks my heart about Pat Tillman. It honestly does. So, then off to D.C. You know, take the bus, trains, planes, automobiles, whatever. We'll get there. And we'll do it. Like we do it the last 2 years. You know, Tammy, John, Steve, everybody that's involved in this whole thing. Let this baby grow. Let it grow into what it's going to grow. Because don't you try to, I mean, none of us. I don't have the right, none of us have the right. This thing is pure. It's an organic, mutated sunflower blowing in the wind. And this baby's going to grow up and it's going to change the world. We're going to set things right. This child, as Kandinsky said, the great artist, the piece of art will remove itself and become abstract and take on this autonomous life of its own. That's what this is. It's going to take on its own. You and I, none of us can think, you know. Yeah. We were there for the inception, you know, and there's a few of us that are responsible for this happening. Absolutely, but it's everybody's now. It's the Earth's new beautiful child. This baby's learned to walk, and this child's going to change the world. Stand tuned.